one of Manchester United brightest stars about 4 to 5 years ago, Marcus Rashford, is now left out of United squad, and since the game against Victoria Prison, yeah, he hasn't been involved in any United games so far. What is happening, Ibrahim? Is Rashford done and dusted?
I think,
or is United trying to push him out?
You can see it in two ways. But Marcus Rashford, don't get me wrong, I think the guy is a good player.
Yeah,
like there's no doubt about that. But he's not a top player. I think he has the opportunity.
Rashford is not a top player.
He's not a top player. Let's leave.
Wow. Guys, drop your thoughts in the comment section. A United fan here is saying Rashford is not a top player.
He's not a top player. He has the opportunity to go to the very top, but I think he blew those opportunities. So he's a good player. Like there's no doubt about that. And I think when you look at Marcus Rashford's situation, right, I think it explains everything about Manchester United structure, their transfer policy. In fact, when it comes to contracts and everything.
When you say Rashford blew the chance of getting to the top, are you referring to his attitude?
Yes, his attitude and everything combined. I think his lack of seriousness. He's not a serious player. He has lost that spark. Like Marcus Rashford doesn't have that spark again. And Marcus Rashford is known for a player. Like he's known to be a player that he has that pace.
Yeah.
Like he can. He can score. Like he has the ability to score to score goals and all that. But I think as it stands, he had lost that because his seriousness is not there. He's not giving it 100% again, and that is the reason why these days you see him going to parties and all that.
I think under Ten Hag, when he was punished after United lost against City 3-0, next thing we saw Rashford partying somewhere, and he got punished by Ten Hag, and he did that again. Yeah, under Ten Hag, he did that like twice.
Yeah, and do you know what that means? For you to lose a game against your arch rivals, you know what it means. As a Manchester United, as in for the club and even the fans that the fans of that club. So as a player that represents Manchester United, I think you just have to you need to have that at the back of your mind that he's a very big,
and he has always been that poster boy.
A player that is loved by the fans and everybody within the club, and that is the reason why it's due to that love and all that. That's the reason why Marcus Rashford is still in Manchester United all this. I think he is. So I think he's a player that the Manchester United family loves a lot. In fact, we the fans, we love him. But I think this is the right time for him to leave.
Away from the love, he would have been pushed out a long time ago.
I think they would have X'd him out.
Yeah.
But when you look at Marcus Rashford, I think what is happening within the club, I think Amorim can actually look at the board and say, okay, I want to keep this player. I want to get the best out of him, because we know Ten Hag to be a manager that is so protective. I think he has his own players. I don't know, maybe he's scared of making some kind of making important decisions, because if his other managers with the kind of attitude that Marcus Rashford displayed in the past under Ten Hag, I think they would have
just locked him out of the team. But I think due to Ten Hag's his ability to get everyone involved. Away from still on Marcus Rashford, January transfer window is coming. Do you think he's going to leave?
Yes, from the handwriting is already on the wall, so I think he's leaving, because as I said, Amorim can walk to the management and say, okay, I want to get the best out of this player. But as it stands, I think Amorim will have that understanding that, okay, this guy is not even like the zeal is not there to perform, so I don't think there's any way I can work with this player. And I think Ratcliffe as well, the United owners, I think the new owners, they are trying to cut the wages and all that, the wage bill of the club. And looking at Marcus Rashford, I think they feel they just have to start from him, because he is one of the highest earner at the club, and he's not putting in
100%.
Like he's not giving 100%. So I think they're just using Amorim as a tool, to just get the player out of the club, because I don't think it's Amorim's decision, because there are some other players that are not putting in 100%. That Rashford, I think Rashford is even doing pretty well than those players, because ever since Amorim came into the club, I think Rashford featured in 6 games and I think he got 3 goals, right? So that is a very good performance. That is if we are to look at statistics,
Yeah.
isn't it? We're not talking about, you know, the play side of things, but when you look at, statistics, I think that's a very good start. So with that, and they are still trying to, to push the player out of the club, then I think that tells you everything.
So it's done and dusted for Marcus Rashford.
Definitely, 100%.
Marcus Rashford, for me, he has always been close to my heart, and I felt he was a player to maybe at this point, right? I went 2024 years ago, 4 5 years ago, when he was still that player coming up from the academy. He looked like that guy, who would lead United, who like just you watch Bruno Fernandes carry United on his back.
Yeah,
I felt Marcus Rashford maybe he would be that player right now, but unfortunately, no.
Because over the years, it's evident that Marcus Rashford is not a good example. His attitude has been, is just very poor, and he's not a good example to the young lads coming up. Players like Garnacho, and that's the reason why you
Ahmad,
see, Ahmad and the rest, and that's the reason why you see Garnacho. His performance is just like it's not consistent.
On and off.
Days, on and off. Like it's because of those players at the very top, isn't it? They are not showing a very good example, and Fernandes has also been a very good player for sure, but I don't think in terms of captaincy, he's not a good captain. But we don't want to look at that. I think Rashford has not been a good example, so maybe I think it's high time he goes, to other places. Maybe he will play his trade elsewhere.
Yeah. So guys, you heard it from Ibrahim. Marcus Rashford is done and dusted, and it's time for him to leave Manchester United. Do you agree with him or disagree? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to like and also subscribe. I remain Yimzy, and this is Ibrahim. So guys, see you in the next one.